We are now in lesson 4. In lesson 4, we are going to look at division of fractions. In the previous lesson, that is in lesson 3, we discussed about multiplication. But in this lesson 4, we are going to discuss about division of fractions. So the division of fractions, let me give you some hints. Division involving fractions is to transform it into multiplication. For example, dividing by 1 over 4 is equivalent to multiplying by 4 over 1. So in this case, we are looking at equivalent. Now, before we look at this topic, division of fractions, let's quickly discuss about the issue of equivalent. What is it all about? Equivalent. 2 over 3 divided by 4, 1 over 4. Is equivalent to 2 over 3 multiplied by 4 over 1. Now, that is the steps which you are going to follow when you are dividing fractions. But before we move on to the concept itself, let's quickly discuss about the equivalent. Examples of equivalent. Equivalent, 2 over 3 is equivalent to 3 over 2. Then let's move on. 1 over 4 is equivalent to 4 over 1. So it's like they are inverting. 5 over 3 is equivalent to 3 over 5. So to find the equivalent of a fraction, you invert. The numerator becomes the denominator and the denominator becomes the numerator. That is the equivalent. So that is all about it. So in this case now, what we are saying is when you are dividing fractions, is that the same as multiplying by its equivalent? Now, let's move on. Let's look at examples now. Examples. We want now to divide 2 over 3. 2 over 3 divided by 1 over 2. Right. 1 we now say, which is equals to 2 over 3 multiplied by the equivalent of 1 over 2. It's 2 over 3. So we are now saying 2 over 3 multiplied by the equivalent of 1 over 2, which is 2 over 1, which is equals to, you now multiply the numerators alone, denominators alone. Then you will simplify in its simplest form, which is 1 and 1 over 3. Now let's look at example 2. 4 over 9 divided by 2 over 3, which is equals to 4 over 9 multiplied by the equivalent of 2 over 3. What is the equivalent of 2 over 3? Is 3 over 2. So you now multiply the numerators alone, denominators alone. Then you now simplify. 12 over 18 can be simplified in its simplest form, dividing by 6 to 6 here 3. So your final answer, it will be 2 over 3. So in these examples, please, what is more important is the equivalent. So whenever you are dividing any fraction, dividing fractions, you multiply by its equivalent. You multiply by its equivalent. So for this concept, I have an exercise which is written here below. Exercise. Do the following calculations. Show your working clearly and give your answers in its simplest form. So you can see in these instructions, there is show your work clearly. So what I want to see is how you are going to multiply. Let's look at example 1. This is my working. From 2 over 3 multiplied by 2 over 3. This is the working which we want to be talking about. We want to see this. After seeing this, then we now know that we are now able to multiply by its equivalent. Then from there you find your answer, and if possible, give your answer in its simplest form. What it means, if your answer needs to be reduced to its lowest term, you can now reduce it to its lowest term. So this is how we divide fractions. Thank you very much.